crashing out.
I want to thank the Attorney General for her great work in the first year on the job, and I want to thank you for being here. With that, I will yield to the ranking member for an opening statement.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Chairman, and welcome Attorney General Bondi. You've got the best lawyer's job in America because your mission is justice and your clients are the American people. But to promote justice for the people, you've got to listen to the victims, like the women seated behind you today. Those are just some of the hundreds of survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's global sex trafficking ring who are demanding that the truth be told and are demanding accountability for the abusers who trafficked and raped them.
Yep.
You still haven't met with these survivors.
Wait, wait a minute. So you're the Attorney General and you didn't even meet with the survivors of the people that you're releasing all the files about? What the fuck?
Their permission,
what?
Let me introduce to you the survivors and late survivors' family members who are present today. There's Teresa Helm, there's Jess Michaels, Laura Bloom McGee, Danny Bensky, Liz Stein, Marina Lacerda, Sky and Amanda Roberts, who are the family of the late Virginia Giuffre, Charlene Rushard, and Lisa Phillips. Now, you're not showing a lot of interest in the victims, Madam Attorney General, whether it's Epstein's human trafficking ring or the homicidal governmental violence against citizens in Minneapolis. As Attorney General, you're siding with the perpetrators, unless you act quickly to change course. You're running a
Y'all gotta keep in mind too that when Trump got into office and they said it was gonna release the files, Democrats were screaming as well to release all the files unredacted, which included the victims and the pedophiles or the suspects. So the fact that they're now using the fact that they released the Epstein files with the victims' names unredacted, they're throwing that in Pam Bundy's face, which is I definitely understand why you do want to release. You know what I mean? You should have released it with it because some of them people just wanted their lives to be private. But at the same time, you do have a ample amount of people who are on both sides of the aisle calling for, and fucking people in general, calling for the Epstein files to be released unredacted. That was the whole point of it being the Transparency Act. So the fact that they're now using that or throwing that back in the face of Pam Bundy is fucking crazy. And this is what I don't like about both of the parties, is that they just fucking nitpick at little things to fucking attack each other with, rather than just coming to a conclusion and working together. This shouldn't be a fucking left or right thing. This should be fucking literally them going after fucking the worst of the worst. This has nothing to do with what your beliefs is or who you or what party you stand for. This is literally right versus wrong, and they are still playing identity politics. Not even identity politics, but they're still just playing trying to get political points.
Massive Epstein cover-up right out of the Department of Justice. You've been ordered by subpoena and by Congress to turn over 6 million documents, photographs, and videos.
Wait, so there's 6 million, but I thought they only released 3 million. That means half haven't even been released? Is that... I think it's like 3.5 million. So that means literally millions of these are still left?
Shit's gone. It's scrubbed.
Epstein files, but you've turned over only 3 million. You say you're not turning over the other 3 million because they're somehow duplicative, but we know that there are actual memos of victim statements.
That's not their decision to make.
And you also took down the Department of Justice's prosecution memo from 2019. So it's clearly not all duplicative, but even if it were, why not release it? Just release all the duplicative stuff.
Agreed.
Yes, put out
in the half you did produce, you redacted the names of abusers, enablers, accomplices, and co-conspirators, apparently to spare them embarrassment and disgrace, which is the exact opposite of what the law ordered you to do. Even worse, you shockingly failed to redact many of the victims' names.
Not that big of a shock.
Which is what you were ordered to do by Congress. Some of the victims had come forward publicly, but many had not. Many had kept their torment private, even from family and friends, but you published their names.
That's crazy.
Their identities, their images on thousands of pages for the world to see. So you ignored the law, and even with over 100,000 employees at your disposal.
I think they've got to get rid of her. They do. Like, I thought they had to get rid of her with the Tesla bombings. The fact that they let those Tesla bombings go on and they never held any of those people accountable. Like, you had people that were creating national databases of where Tesla owners lived, so they would make targets out of the people that own these cars, and other people could firebomb and destroy the cars. And a ton of these people never got arrested. There were never any consequences for it, and they were just able to do it with no other type of problem at all. So really, I mean, this is only one thing. Like, the worst part about...
I have to look that up. I didn't know anything about that. But that is crazy, though. The fact that you can dock somebody just because they decided to own a vehicle from a guy who decided to switch aisles and support the opposite political party, from which he started off as. So Elon Musk was a well-known, well, not well-known, but it wasn't nothing hiding when it came to who he voted for or his ideas behind which political aisle he stood on, and him switching to Trump. And I do remember that people were trying to destroy Tesla cars, but I didn't know people were actually getting doxxed and showing who owns Teslas and where they live. That's fucking insane. And if nobody actually faced any ramifications for it, it's actually fucking insane. Especially because I've actually seen videos of them destroying Tesla trucks.
About this is that she's so incompetent, I don't even know if it's a cover-up. I think that she actually just might be a fucking retard. Because how do you mess up so many different things over and over and over?
But you got to keep in mind, this is her first year as a DOJ. I mean, I don't know Pam Bundy's track record when it comes to what she has done over the course of her career, but this is her first year as a DOJ. Now, the controversy that has been, I mean, the firestorm that everybody in Trump's cabinet has walked into, I mean, they have like literally, there's so much shit you can pull up on them, because it's just like, what can you not get raked through the mud for? And you can say that with any cabinet, to be honest with you. It's just how they walk out of office. When they walk out of office, can you say they've left either their position in the same state, or they left it in a better state? If they left it in a worse state, then fuck it, rake them through the mud. It's that simple.
At a certain point, I mean, like, you're just a fucking idiot.
You acted with some mixture of staggering incompetence, cold indifference, and jaded cruelty towards more than 1,000 victims raped, abused, and trafficked.
Yeah.
This performance screams cover-up. Convicted sex trafficker and groomer Ghislaine Maxwell opened the gates of hell to Virginia Giuffre and hundreds of other victims, as Virginia recorded in her remarkable book, Nobody's Girl. But when Maxwell was subpoenaed to come testify before Congress, you and Todd Blanche quickly moved her from a higher security prison to a minimum security camp in Texas, where she's enjoyed 5-star treatment, including catered meals, private gym time, and access to a therapy puppy.
That's what I actually agree with him. I think if because I've heard two stories. So I've heard the fact that she was moved for sure, but it was the same level of security prison from which she was moved from that she was transferred to. They were the same level of security prison. I think they're calling it a lesser, a minimum security prison, only because of the stuff that she's allowed to do, as far as like having like a pet, and I guess ideal like recreational time or whatever. I don't know how the fuck they operate in prisons, but basically she's allowed more freedom than she was in the prison that she was moved out of. I do agree with them for sure, 100%. That I don't care when it comes to things like child pedophile, bro. Don't let up on the ass, bro. She pleads the fifth. She pleads the fifth. She did it. They did all this, and she still went before her in her deposition and pled the fifth to every single question, and which is fucking ridiculous. Like, you would think somebody would come to atone for what they have done, but I mean, some people right now, I think they're literally dealing with the worst of the worst. And I mean, you do,
because
they gave this bitch
the fact that they even gave her an inch, and now she's trying to take a mile is fucking ridiculous. They should have left her ass in that box.
Utterly failed to investigate.
They gave this bitch a dog. They gave her a fucking dog. And she didn't even snitch anybody out? Bro, you gotta take the dog away. That poor dog.
Shit.
I know, really. Like, how does this even happen?
The monstrous crime.
When she left that deposition, I would have been. If I was Pam Bondi, if I was DOJ, I would have been like, hey, put her ass in a smaller box, worse than the one she came from. Put her ass in a smaller box, no bed, no covers, no nothing, bro. Just fucking brick and fucking flat steel. That's it. No pillow, no nothing. We gonna make your ass pay. Since we did decide to take that leap of faith and give your ass an inch, now we finna drag your ass back before the fucking start and make your ass fucking get on all fours and beg for fucking some type of beg to get back to the original cell that you was in.
So Epstein and Maxwell's co-conspirators spent 9 hours with Maxwell and satisfied himself that she would have nothing untoward to say about Donald.
And I heard they was giving this bitch meals, like the meal of her choice.
Trump, which is your only real interest in the matter, based on institutional performance.
I think that there's a lot of people that are weaponizing the Epstein files for Trump or against Trump. I think it's pretty obvious that something has been going wrong here, and it's not really as simple as, Epstein is in the right.
People are not even, Epstein is not even a focal point no more for the Epstein files. It's just people just, how do you take the main character and then you have, let's say it was in medieval times, you take the king and you have a traveler, and now the story is about the traveler has visited the king. It makes no sense. Like, even if that is the case, where you're missing the point. We trying to get to the bottom, how far the rabbit hole goes. Y'all just keep on throwing Trump's name out there, and y'all already downplaying everything else that's happening within the
or not. I think it's very simple that, it's like way more complicated than that.
Mm-hmm. But abandoning victims and coddling perpetrators is what you do best. When the FBI opened a criminal investigation into the brutal killing in Minneapolis of Renee Good, a poet and 37-year-old mother of 3.
Justified. Shouldn't have been driving your car. Should have followed the fucking command. Should have listened to the police. Should have complied. Shouldn't have spent all morning harassing them and impeding what they were doing. If they had arrested her earlier, it wouldn't have happened. Completely justified.
By Trump's masked paramilitary ICE agents, you shut it down. You claim you're investigating the cold-blooded murder of Alex Preddy, an ICU nurse at the VA. But how can we trust the administration when the president...
I dislike these people weaponizing and trying to use basically the moral good standing of the Epstein files and the objective evil of it to effectively launder their political ideology with ICE. Like, that's what they're really...
It's so fucking stupid. It has nothing to do with fucking the Epstein files. Literally has nothing to do with the Epstein files. And this is what I mean by this is political point. They're just fucking, both sides are doing the same thing. They're just fucking nitpicking at the files and nitpicking at little topics, and then bringing it all the way back around to what's going on in their current political views on what's currently in current events.
Doing is this guy is a bad actor. He's trying to launder the Epstein files and launder, basically aggressive, abusive people who refuse to follow the law, who are violent towards police officers, getting shot. And it's a tragedy when somebody gets shot. It's sad, but sometimes it's justified. After looking at both of these, I think the woman driving the car was completely justified. And I think Alex Preddy, it was unfortunate, but it's hard to say the cops should go to jail, and I think they should do an investigation. But, it's very clear that Alex Preddy was not just a nurse. He was a active agitator. He was not a protester. He was a criminal, and he should have never brought a gun there. All of these things are true. And so whenever he's taking the moral, basically like the moral mandate the Epstein files deserve, and you're trying to weaponize your own political values to try to interweave it and launder your political ideology through the Epstein files, you're just being a piece of shit. So I don't even think that this person cares about the Epstein files, which is what I think is very fucking annoying, is he doesn't even care.
It's so blatantly obvious too, and I'm gonna end it right here, but it's so blatantly obvious too, because you went from her releasing the victims' names and all this stuff, and then now you're pulling up something about ICE at a congressional hearing about Epstein files. Like, make that make sense. You're literally throwing your own argument out the door. It makes no sense. And then